for students and families joining us this evening, I'm Jessica Sullivan. So I'm Senior Associate Director of Admissions, here to just kind of help the panel along and answer some questions, but certainly we want you to hear mostly from our faculty member and our current students. They're the people at this stage I'm sure you're anxious to learn a little bit more about as far as biology, pre-med, biomedical sciences. So the way we'd love for this panel to go is they're going to offer you some introductions, talk a little bit about the program, but we welcome you to please ask questions in the chat. So any questions you have, whether it's something they're talking about at that certain time that you'd like clarification on, whether it is something academic or something purely just about Susquehanna that you want to know, what is the town like, what's housing like, what's the food like, all questions are free range at this point. We realize as you're making such a big decision, all of those little things are going to play into that ultimately. So please feel free to send along any of the questions that you might have. We are also recording this, so we will have this posted on the university's YouTube channel at a later date too, in case you want to go back for some of the answers or share it with friends or family members. So at this point, I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Tobin.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Tammy Tobin. I'm chair of the biology department here at Susquehanna University, and thank you so much for your interest in our department. I want to tell you a little bit about myself now, before handing it over to the students and then moving on to our more formal presentation and question and answers. I'm a native of upstate New York. I grew up in the Rochester and the Finger Lakes areas, kind of everywhere in that area. I did my undergraduate degree in animal science at Cornell University, my graduate degree in genetics at Texas A&M University, and then I did a few years of postdoctoral research in biochemistry at the National Institutes of Health before moving on to Susquehanna University. And I've been here for 27 years. And I can say that the reason that I came here and the reason that I've stayed here is our true passion for teaching and learning at the undergraduate level and research at the undergraduate level. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. But I don't want to go into too much detail now. So welcome, and let's go to our students. Alex, why don't you start?
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. I am a junior biology major. I am part of the Phi Nu Delta fraternity here at Susquehanna. I'm an executive member in the personal development club. I'm also a student ambassador, which just means I'm a tour guide. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Any question you got, shoot my way.
And Joseph.
Hi, I'm Joseph McKee. I'm a bio major on a pre-veterinary medicine track. I'm involved with the crew team here on campus, and I'm also in Pi Kappa Phi.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is just give you a brief introduction. I'm going to share my PowerPoint screen with all of you and give you a brief introduction to our biology majors, our biology major, I should say, our biomedical sciences major, our healthcare professions minor, some of the things that our recent alumni are doing, and then I'm going to pull back out of PowerPoint so that we can actually have a question and answer session. So hopefully this will all work. All right, are we good? It looks good to me. Okay, so again, welcome to the Biology and Biomedical Sciences and Health Professions session. I'm Dr. Tammy Tobin, and I'm the chair of the biology department. Our biology department is very broad in interests. We have 15 faculty members that range in ages. Like I said, I've been here 27 years. I'm not quite the oldest in the department. And our youngest faculty members were just hired last year. So we've got a really broad range of expertise and ages in the department. We also have very diverse research interests, ranging from behavior to cell molecular biology, genetics, developmental biology, ecology, aquatic ecology, microbiology, neurobiology, and physiology. We oversee two majors in the biology department, the biology major and the biomedical sciences major. We also collaborate with psychology to oversee the neuroscience major, and with earth and environmental sciences to oversee the ecology major. And we work with chemistry to oversee the biochemistry major. So there are lots of majors that are possible through our department, but the two that we oversee in total are biology and biomedical sciences. So I'll talk about them. There are other sessions that you can attend if you're interested in neuroscience, ecology, or biochemistry. So the biology curriculum is really our broad-based biology degree. It gives you a broad background in biology and the opportunity to take upper level classes for an in-depth experience in your area of interest. We also place an emphasis on career readiness skills, so teamwork and ethics and communications, and in particular, research experiences are important in the department. So there will be extensive research opportunities throughout your career at Susquehanna, including a full year senior capstone experience. And together, these will provide you preparation for a wide variety of career goals, not just in the biological sciences, but also in the health professions. The biomedical science major was designed to really provide a comprehensive preparation for postgraduate study in the health professions. So it provides extensive background that's common for most health professions in biology, chemistry, and physics, along with applied coursework in human anatomy and physiology, and the psychology and sociology classes that you need not only for the MCATs for medical school, but also for admission to things like nursing schools and physician's assistance programs, physical therapy, and things like that. Because of the additional coursework in this major, Senior Research Capstone is a one-semester research intensive course called Biological Investigations, but students who are interested in graduate studies in biomedical sciences are also quite welcome to do the full senior year of research. Again, this provides you for a wide variety of career goals in the health professions as well as graduate school. We also oversee a healthcare studies minor. Healthcare studies programs, medical schools, nursing schools, PA schools, dental schools, optometry, they don't really care what you major in. What they care is that you have really good grades, which usually goes hand in hand with your loving your major, and that you complete their prerequisite coursework. So our healthcare studies minor provides a bridge between the ideals of the liberal arts and other non-science majors and the needs of pre-professional students. It is truly interdisciplinary in nature. So we have courses that range from biology courses to healthcare studies, human anatomy and human physiology. We have chemistry courses in there, such as medicinal chemistry. We have courses from the business school and courses from philosophy in bioethics that really explore most aspects of healthcare, including ethical and business issues. And we require internships. Every healthcare studies minor does 2 internships to explore the careers that they think they may want to spend the rest of their lives doing, because we know that going into the healthcare professions requires significant postgraduate study, and we don't want students to end up in a career that they dislike after all of those years. So it's a great way to explore those careers and decide what you really want to do. The one thing that we are, well, one of many things we're really proud of, but a common theme that runs through all of our majors is an emphasis on research. And that's because we want our students to become scientists, not just memorizers of scientific facts. So most of our labs are investigative in nature. That means you're designing experiments to discover answers that aren't just canned laboratories. The labs are taught by faculty, not just graduate or undergraduate research fellows. There are extensive opportunities for summer research internships, and our capstone experience, as I said before, was senior research. In part due to the nature of our senior capstone research experience, our biology department was named as one of the top 50 departments, biology departments, I should say undergraduate biology departments, by learn.org in this past fall. And that was, again, due in part to our research experiences and also the quality of teaching that we provide for our students. Our research students regularly are co-authors on publications, and they present their results at regional and national meetings. On average, over 40 of our students present yearly, recently in places like Tennessee, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Alaska, California, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Georgia. And you can see a couple of our students right here in Alaska just recently. And to finish up this very brief presentation on the majors, I want to introduce you to some of our recent alumni. The students that you see grinning here are part of my upper level microbiology of beer, bread, and cheese class. And so they're participating in a field study at one of our local brew pubs, again, illustrating that we don't just learn facts, we actually immerse in the biological process. About a third of our graduates go on into programs in the healthcare professions, so that would be everything from medical school, dentistry, optometry, PT, PA, nursing, vet school. About a third go on to graduate school at the master's or PhD level, and about a third seek employment. And regardless of which area they choose to go into, at least 96% are successfully employed in those pursuits within 6 months of graduation. And so in the last part of my presentation, I'm going to introduce you to some of our recent alums. I'm going to focus on not only what they did in terms of the coursework, what their majors were, but also what their co-curricular activities were and where they went on their Go Long programs and their Go Short programs. So those of you who are not yet aware, every student at Susquehanna has the opportunity to study in a culture completely different from their own for at least 2 weeks. Those are called Go Short, or a full semester or even a year, and those are called Go Long. So the first person that I want to introduce you to is Dillan Warr. He was a biology major and a Spanish minor. He was the class valedictorian his graduation year. He did Go Long because he was a Spanish minor in Seville, Spain, so that he would become fluent in Spanish. He did summer research at the Weiss Center, not too far from here. He was a 4-year letter winner in the Landmark Conference Championship men's swimming team and is currently at Temple University Medical School, where he's getting a merit scholarship for the very top candidates that is somewhere, I think, around $100,000 during his 4 years of medical school. Laura Spence was a biology major and a Spanish and a chemistry minor. She did her Go Long in Nicosia, Cyprus. She interned at Geisinger Medical Center in Danville. And I do want to say that for those of you who are interested in either biomedical research or the health professions, the Geisinger, we call it the mothership. The Geisinger big hospital is less than an hour east of here and provides a tremendous number of opportunities for our students to shadow physicians, do research experiences during the summer. She is currently at dental school at the University of Louisville. And by the way, she's that night thing is showing her doing some night research with our ecology professors. Brian Rothbard is a biology major. He was bitten by the research bug at a very young age, spent all 4 of his years at Susquehanna doing undergraduate research, starting out in aquatic ecology and finishing up his senior year working on acid mine drainage remediation. He did his Go Short in Australia. He did, after graduation, a post-baccalaureate fellowship at the National Cancer Institute and has just accepted a position at Eurofin managing cell and gene therapy projects. Sydney Fronck was a biology major. She did her Go Long in New Zealand. Her senior research involved isolating novel antibiotic producing bacteria, and she currently works for Emergent Biosolutions. By the way, I should say she was a 2020 graduate, so she graduated during COVID. And for those of you who think there are no jobs out there because of COVID, there are. She's currently working for Emergent Biosolutions, developing COVID-19 vaccines. Ayanna Besson has a master's of public health. She was a biology major with a chemistry minor. She did her Go Long in Ghana. She also did summer research at Geisinger Medical Center. She's currently pursuing a doctor's in public health at SUNY Downstate School of Public Health. And while she's there, she is instructing other students and medical professions in what's called MAT training. This is training individuals to work with individuals who are suffering from the opioid epidemic. So she's working in public health while pursuing her doctor's. Andrew Muckin was a biology major and a chemistry and a healthcare studies minor. He also studied abroad in New Zealand. He completed an internship at the Northeastern Eye Institute and is currently at Salus University's Pennsylvania College of Optometry. Kaity Ronning was a biology and a music double major. And for those of you who are biologists and musicians, you will know what a big deal that is. Those are both intensive processes. She was pretty amazing. She did her go short in Russia. She was incredibly involved in the university as a presidential fellow. She was a member of the orchestra. She was an orientation team leader and a teaching assistant in both biology and music. She also did summer research at Geisinger and did a summer research fellowship at UC Davis, which led to her being accepted to the PhD program in neuroscience. She's finishing that up in UC Davis probably this year. Noah Diaz-Portalatin was a biology major and a philosophy minor. And surprisingly, the philosophy minor is incredibly popular with biology majors. They have some great courses that involve environmental ethics and bioethics that our students really like a lot. He did his go long in Equatorial Guinea. He worked for the Johnson Center for Civic Engagement at Susquehanna and was part of the Ultimate Frisbee team. He did an animal care internship at the Franklin Park Zoo and is currently a vet student at Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine. And our last student here is Kasey Bost. She was a biomedical sciences major and a chemistry minor. She was a 4-year letter winner on our nationally ranked women's volleyball team, captain of the women's softball team, an NCAA All-American, did her Go Short in Hawaii, our Go 5-0 program, and is currently at the Emory School of Medicine in their physician's assistant program, which is one of the top 5 in the nation. So I guess my take-home message then is that you should know that your opportunities at Susquehanna are really limited only by your own imagination. This is Noah again in Equatorial Guinea with a tortoise. Really cute. You're going to be able to travel to amazing places. You're going to make lifelong friends, and you're going to have fulfilling careers with us. This is a really crazy busy slide, but people normally ask me where our students go for graduate and professional programs. So I thought I'd give you a short list of some of the places that our recent graduates have gone to. Because they're recording this program, you'll be able to go back to this, but you can see, there we go. Our students go to medical school at lots of places, dental school, veterinary school, optometry, podiatry, physician's assistant programs, graduate programs. And I know I've been talking a lot about the cell molecular side, but our students also are incredibly successful in ecological sciences and environmental biology. We have a student currently studying fisheries and aquatic sciences at Auburn, another student at Troy University in environmental biology, students who go to graduate programs for genetic counseling and public health, as we saw earlier, and also, of course, jobs right out of school. And this hawk here is in honor of one of our students who is currently working as an educational specialist at the Hawk Mountain Sanctuary. If you want to chat some more in person after this session is over, my contact information is here. Please do feel free to get in touch with me. I will say that my office number is not the best place to find me right now because of COVID-19. I'm in and out. Email is the best way. Dr. Jan Reichert Brown is our healthcare studies advisor. She's the person who works with all of our pre-health profession students. So if you have questions about that program, you can contact either her or me, but she's the better contact. And again, email is probably the better way to get her. And I'm going to stop sharing and move on to questions.
Okay, so I saw we already had one question about, is it possible to have a job while you're on the pre-med track? It is very possible for you to do both, have a job either on campus or off campus. I know one person who was a biomedical science major, pre-med track, did research his junior, I believe it was the end of his junior year, all through his senior year, and worked full-time as an EMT. It's very possible. I have a job on this campus as well. It's a very realistic thing to do. Yeah, you're going to be busy, but everyone in college is busy. It just keeps you going.
Yeah, and I will say, it looks like that's Gianna. Many of the pre-professional programs require, including pre-med, require that you work in a health profession in some way or another and demonstrate your commitment to a better society by doing volunteer work. And so those experiences are not only possible, but also very much supported by the department.
All right. Well, while we wait for students to come up with a few more questions for us, why don't Alex and Joseph, if you could just maybe a brief summary on how did you find your major? Did you come to Susquehanna knowing what you wanted to do? What that path has been like for you, as we might have students who are saying, yes, I want bio, yes, I want medicine. Some who say, I don't know what I want to do. So give us a little sense of what that looked like for you guys.
Okay, so I had a relatively unique experience with this. I came into college in accounting major, full-fledged, not doing sciences, don't want to do labs. I'm good at numbers, and my accounting seems like it's gonna be a good fit. Came to the business school my first semester, and I did fine on my classes, did pretty well, but my interest, I had none. I'm like, I need to find something that's gonna be very interesting to me, it's gonna keep me engaged. So I originally switched to biomedical sciences, and I recently switched to biology. But after switching, my interest in all my classes just skyrocketed. Absolutely loved it. I just recently had human anatomy, which is one of our upper level bio courses that we actually get to work on cadavers, which was absolutely amazing. It's extremely cool. You learn about every single bone and muscle of the entire body. That's just my personal experience. I had a couple other friends that both went from communications to bio and from one of the music ed majors into bio. So even if you not sure what you want to do and you pick something else, you can always switch back within your first years. It's very doable to them still graduate in 4 years.
So I actually came here already knowing what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a bio major. My dream goal is eventually to become a veterinarian, and that's because I had a dog my whole life growing up, and she became paralyzed in her back legs. And just that whole process, I was like so involved with it. I still remember all the decisions being made, and I was like, I love animals. I don't like seeing her hurting. I want to do my part in helping other animals. So because of her, I'm like, nope, animals is my interest. Everybody tells me you're going to be always involved with animals one way or another. So I was like, what's the best way to do it? Veterinarian, or at least a basic bio degree where I can take it anywhere I want, even after graduating.
Hi, I see Alexis, you have a question that at least 750 hours of quality direct patient contact experience are required to begin many PA programs. That's absolutely true. Your question is, does Susquehanna help students find these qualifying experiences? Yes, we have some direct contacts. Again, we have direct contacts with Geisinger and things like that. But what we do through our health professions advising is we help you figure out what kinds of experiences count. So things like being an EMT or other nursing experiences that count towards those quality direct patient hours. And then we, in the health professions minor, allow you to get credit for doing those things. And so they can become a part of your Susquehanna degree. And so again, we help you understand what those things are. We support you in your search for those, and we can give you credit for those experiences.
Susquehanna also has the CDC, which is the Center for, it's a Center for Career Development.
CCD.
My apologies. They actually can help you throughout not just your time at Susquehanna, but also post Susquehanna when you're actually looking for jobs after you graduate. They help you make resumes, interviews, Skype interviews, cover letters, anything. You can go, they have walk-in hours, any question you have, go to them. I went there my freshman year because I was told to apply to be a student ambassador. I'm like, I don't have a resume. I don't have it. Went in there, started walking hours. 20 minutes later, I left with a full resume and a cover letter. They are absolutely amazing in that office. I've worked through them for a little bit now, and I've gotten 2 job interviews and 1 internship interview. So they are very helpful in that office, especially for finding patient care opportunities. And I will say, in this COVID time, there is a lot of opportunities for biology internships. Many companies need interns at this moment in time. So just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Okay. All right, so we'll wait. We'll let you guys stew on that all for a little bit. Tammy, or any experience that either Joseph or Alex has, you showed us some slides of some amazing alums who have gone through your department in partnership with lots of other departments. What is the relationship between current students and their work and alumni networking? Is that something that you guys do through your department? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a biology Facebook page where we specifically connect alumni with each other, alumni with our students, alumni with job opportunities. So every time one of our alumni has an internship or job opportunity, they post that on the Facebook page. And as department chair, when I get lots of those opportunities across my desk, I also post that on the Facebook page. So we've got lots of opportunities. We also have, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the event where the alumni every year get together with our students and tell them how they found their careers and how they got there. And breakthrough, thank you. And the biology majors are incredibly active in the breakthrough events. And so we have students, again, who are involved in jobs and careers and everything that ranges from creative writing to science writing and work in the Department of Environmental Protection and medicine and biomedical sciences. And we have students who work for Merck in vaccine development and people in graduate and medical schools. And that breakthrough event is another great opportunity for alumni engagement with our students. Can you major in biology on a pre-med track? Absolutely. So Juliet, the biology major has all of the biology courses that would be required for medical school. We also require chemistry and physics classes it's like the first 3 semesters of chemistry and then 2 more classes in chemistry or physics as you might want, depending on your career interests. For medical school, what that's going to mean is Chem 1, Chem 2, Organic 1, Organic 2, Physics 1, Physics 2, and Biochemistry. And those are all supported by the biology major. So taking all of those courses fulfills all of our ancillary requirements. Taking the biochemistry course counts as an upper level cell and molecular biology elective. So it's very supported by the biology major. If you're more interested in getting a broader base of biology at the same time, it'll allow you to take some additional physiology courses that aren't necessarily prescribed by the biomedical sciences major. You'll have a few more credits left over to do some other things.
So I saw there was a question about variety of food on campus. Yes, we have a very large variety. We have our cafeteria, like most universities, that have like pizza, we have occasionally a mac and cheese bar, a sushi bar there, the salad bar, there's a comfort food section, there's a ice cream bar there, sandwich bar, cereal area, all different types of fruit, stuff like that. Then we have a thing called Hawk's Nest, which is like, I'm gonna say take a typical Sheetz or Wawa, you can stop in there, you can get burgers, chicken tenders, fries, cheesesteaks, different sandwiches, walking tacos, salads, anything like that. Then we also just implemented this new place this year called Bento, which is like ramen, sushi, and like rice and meatballs. You can also get poke bowls there as well. And the second half of your question was, how is life at Susquehanna now with COVID? Obviously, many of the social events have really changed this campus because of COVID, but we're currently resting at 0 cases, which is very nice, which means things have kind of opened up a little bit more here on campus. Still have to wear a mask everywhere, small groups. There's no really big, large group events. But with that going on, there's still many many groups have been doing Among Us on Zoom, just overall video game tournaments on Zoom, trivia nights over Zoom and stuff like that. So there's still things going on. It's just a little different than how it usually is.
Yeah, and I will say that there's also Benny's in the science building. We've got our own cafeteria there.
L's.
How could you, our L's, I'm sorry, L's. And I got the name wrong because faculty aren't allowed to eat there right now and we're bitter.
I
It's
completely forgot
food.
about L's.
I know. So it's a sandwich place. It's like Panera's.
Yeah.
And it's right in the science building, so it's really convenient. And just outside of L's, an outside seating area, we've got, distancing circles, but students are there constantly. We've had a really nice fall so far. They've been able to sit outside and eat and socialize and be safe while they're eating. So that's been really nice too.
So we have all of the outdoor seating area and whatnot. And then one thing that was just finished not too long ago was an outdoor beach volleyball court. And whenever I go by it, there are always people there if it's a nice day out. I know today I saw 3 different groups out playing, and
I was one of them.
Yeah, everyone loves it. I've played multiple times, and it's just simple. It's just, you find the small things that you can get a small number of people and then be able to truly enjoy it. And I mean, for me, I'm sure also for Alex, it's also been a great opportunity to get closer to your classmates who might not be in the same major as you.
Yeah, I kind of live in my fraternity house, and I spend pretty much almost all day during the school day just in this house. So I've gotten a lot closer to people I live with, which has been very fun. And yes, there is COVID testing available to all students. They also schools been randomly testing people throughout the whole semester. Whenever any building may have to go on quarantine for a positive test or positive wastewater test, all the students in that building then get tested.
Yeah, so Alexis, just to let you know what it might look like if we're still in the same place when you start at Susquehanna. What we did at the beginning of the fall semester, and I suspect this is what we're going to do at the beginning of the spring semester, is Susquehanna paid for every single student and every single faculty and staff member to be tested before they came back to campus, so that we were certain, to the extent possible, that when we brought everybody back together, we were as safe as possible. And then from there on, we're doing, as Alex said, we're doing fecal water testing. We're doing COVID-19 testing on the poop stream that comes out of all of the dorms. And anytime something comes up positive, we immediately quarantine the dorm until we've tested all of the students to find out who the positive person is. Those, by the way, normally come back positive before a student is symptomatic. And so it's been a really good way to keep people safe. We're also doing random testing now at all times of students and faculty and staff, just to make sure that we are as COVID-free as we can be. And as has been said earlier today, we're completely COVID-free right now, and we have been for a while. So fingers crossed. It's been really good. And our students have been fantastic, really taking care of each other and taking care of their faculty, because we're a lot older than they are, and keeping each other safe. And so I've felt like this has been a safe place to be this semester.
Also, to add on to the COVID testing, if you are on any athletic team, typically either a quarter to half the team is tested every week. And that's just simply make sure that, because one of the quickest ways for it to spread on campus is through our athletics. So they're keeping a real close eye on that. We have had a couple teams I know have to stop practice for a week or two because one person on the team became positive. So they're like, nope, no more practice in person, but nothing's come from that. So we're very fast on reacting to potential positive tests.
Yep.
So I thought there's a question here about what's something unique about Susquehanna and about the security. Well, I'll answer the security one first, get to me a little quicker. We have a blue light system around the entire campus. I believe there are 11 actual blue boxes and 80 something blue, boxes as well, but they're on the sides of buildings. They're in many of the academic buildings. You press that button, it contacts public safety and the local police department, which if you do not, have never been to campus, it's literally right on University Ave, right by the school. So they are here within a minute, usually at max 2, because they're so
I live
close.
next door to the police station.
Yeah, they're very close. Then something unique about the campus is I would say every student that does go abroad here, so every student is having that cross-cultural experience. So you get to hear a lot of different perspectives about where people have gone. My friends go to Hawaii, Russia, they go all over Europe, New Zealand, Australia. And it's just very interesting to hear all the perspectives and all the different things that happen on these trips. I know there's a trip where they go to the base camp on Mount Everest, which is absolutely awesome. Sounds really cool with Dr. Richard.
I'm doing that one.
Yeah, it's
Are you?
kind of
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was canceled this year, so it's going next year, but I'm staying with it.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about that trip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say that our Global Opportunities program is probably the thing that we do that is the most unique, that every one of our students has the opportunity to engage in a culture that's completely different from their own. And it's by and large a part of, I mean, you get financial aid because it's required and things like that. So it really just makes going to that place you dreamed about going to possible.
So our musical assembly is open to students not enrolled in music major / minor. Yes, all the musicals and plays on this campus are. We had Pippin just I think last year, the year before that, and the actual person who played Pippin was just an education major. So it's really open to everyone. Then we have chorale and we have a bunch of other small music groups, and they're open to anyone on campus. If you actually had that for the major and minor, I believe you can get a certain number of credits depending on what organization it is for that. But even if you're not doing that, you can do it just for fun. I have many, many friends that are not theater majors, not music majors, and that are involved all over with this kind of stuff.
And Elvin, what percentage of students do internships? I don't have that number. I really don't know what percentage. Jessica, do you have any idea?
Sure. So I wanted to add one more quick thing about music. We do allow students to audition as what we consider to be non-music majors. So those students are not necessarily taking classes in music, but are actively participating in ensembles or groups. The students who are non-majors who audition are still eligible for scholarship. So I always like to throw out when there's some money opportunity. So you can be a music major and receive music, or not be a non-major and receive music scholarship. So that's just for those of you who know you want to do something as heavy as bio or biomed or pre-med and are like, oh, I don't think I can take music classes on top of it, but you still want to be involved. That's a great opportunity to think about.
Yeah, I've had several students in my research labs who have been on music scholarships and really gifted musicians.
Mm-hmm. An extra $1,000 to $2,000 a year can't hurt as far as to do something that you love to do anyway. So that's fantastic. As far as internships, we have about 90% of students who do one or more internships before graduating from Susquehanna. We include research in that. So we usually say internships, research, or professional development opportunities. So almost all of our students essentially are, and anybody who wants to can. So it's really a matter of working with the department that you're in, but also the Career Development Center that Alex had mentioned earlier. You go in and say, I'm really interested in an internship near my home area in this field. What can we find? What alums can I connect with? So it's really about kind of trying to maximize your opportunities to shadow as many as possible to figure out what do I want to do? What don't I want to do? As Alex explained to you, he went through a path of figuring out what he was, so accountant to biology. But internships and those experiences can be the things that help guide you to decide what you're really interested in.
So questions next. Oh,
I was going to say, no. I'm not going to answer that because I'm biased. So you all go.
I'd say every single professor on this campus, not just in the science department, if you're going to ask for help, they will go ahead and head over heels to try to help you as much as they possibly can. All you have to do is reach out. Communication is key. Say you're struggling in a class. I was really struggling in organic chemistry too this semester. Really wasn't doing well. Reach out to the professor. I met with him either over Zoom or outside on the outdoor eating areas here on campus twice a week, sometimes even 3 times a week. Anytime I had a question, he was always responding fast, able to answer, stuff like that. And I've had other friends in many other departments just do the same thing. All it is you got to tell them, hey, I'm having trouble here. Could you explain this to me? Stuff like that.
They are always willing to help you. You just need to be the one to reach out. But another huge thing, which is why I really like the biology program here, is especially the bio teachers. They try to get to know you as a person. So you aren't just simply like a random number or just simply a name on a paper. They try to get to know you outside of class so they can be able to pick up on cues. Maybe like 1 week you're just struggling to get through class. I know last semester, there were a couple times where I was somewhat sluggish during class, and one of my teachers noticed, and he was like, checked in with me and make sure you're getting enough sleep. So are you able to do your work okay and whatnot? We talked through it, and I ended up figuring just get more sleep simply. And I mean, just having someone care like that much about you, it says a whole lot. And I mean, part of it is we're a smaller university, but the other is they care about you so much more than you would think.
I've had that exact experience with at least 2 or 3 professors on this campus, because I'm a talkative person. How I am. And if I don't act like that, it's usually noticed. I've had multiple professors reach out to me like, hey, you doing all right? You doing okay? You're a little quiet today in class. Hey, you showed up 10 minutes late. What's up? Just asking, hey, you doing all right? And the class is more enjoyable, not just for you, but for your professors if you're more personal with it. That's one of the beautiful things about Susquehanna is you have such small class sizes, is you really get to know your professors like very well. You get to hear about their personal life. They get to hear about your personal life. It's a very, I don't even know how to say it. It feels like you're kind of just talking with friends at home. Like it's a very relaxed, casual area. Yes, it's professional. It's still professional because you're in class, but just they're great with just being there for you if you need it. So
how much time?
I spend a lot of hours a week studying.
Yeah.
But I was in 2 labs earlier this semester. Next semester, I believe I'm taking 3 labs. So it's really just keeping track during your work when you plan to do your work, not just saving on your work for the end. You really need to plan out your weeks, plan your schedule out, and make sure you're giving yourself enough time to, if you do have questions and you're really confused, that you can then email your professor a couple of days in advance if they help you. If you need to ask for an extension, ask for that multiple days in advance, stuff like that.
It's very important as a science major, especially starting out, to be very good with time management, because you will potentially have 2 labs this semester, which it is tough to juggle, but if you set yourself up really well, it won't be a problem whatsoever. And you'll be able to either hang out with friends more often, potentially in the evenings, or be more involved on campus in clubs.
I will say that the biology and biomedical sciences are rigorous disciplines. You're going to work very hard. But I think one of the things you saw in my presentation was that our students also do other amazing things. They're involved in sports. They're involved in their fraternities and sororities. They're involved in campus clubs. And we find that, interestingly enough, our students do best when they are involved in those things, because they don't have time to procrastinate. They have to organize their time better, and they're happier doing those things. And so you will be really busy. You will be really busy, but you will also have time to do other things if you manage your time correctly and do that. I see Jessica is asking when students are able to first participate in science research with a faculty member. Jessica, I'll take you tomorrow.
All right, sign me up.
No, I mean, seriously, we don't have infinite capacity, but very few of us turn down students who truly want to start working with us right away. You have volunteer opportunities in our labs from the get-go. The chemistry department actually has, and for a variety of science majors, credit-bearing research early on, starting first semester, freshman year, really. The biology department doesn't do that. We've got a lot more majors and a lot less space, but right now I've got 5 senior research students and 2 juniors, one of whom just started. The other junior has been working with me since she was a sophomore, and I routinely have students who come to me as first-year students wanting to work with me, and I provide them with the opportunities to do as much research as I can. So you're very welcome to work with us from as soon as you're ready to commit time to us. You're welcome to be in our labs.
So I saw the question, how difficult is it to be a biology major and an NCAA athlete? We are a D3 university. We are student athletes, so your academics are always going to be coming first. But I have multiple friends on the football team. I roomed with 2 football players freshman year. One was a biology major as well. I have multiple guys on the lacrosse team, all across different majors, and they're in the biology or they're in double majoring. It is very easy, as I said earlier, if you're planning out your time, you're planning ahead, and you're keeping to your schedule. It's very, I'm not gonna say easy, but it's very attainable to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I will tell you that my experience, I'm the faculty advisor to the women's volleyball team. And again, our volleyball students tend to get better grades during the volleyball season because their coaches are watching them and they're making sure that they're getting their work done. And so again, it's not an easy road, but we very much support, we know how important sports are to our students. So
to go along with that, not all teams, I know some teams do have like weekly study logs as well. So like they give all their athletes a piece of paper, they have to take to the professor. They just got to sign it to make sure they're still on track. So like you will be responsible for yourself, but you will have those fallback systems to help you out if you are starting to struggle.
So I can speak firsthand because I am on the crew team. The crew team here is a club sport, but we are treated as a normal sport because of how rigorous we train. From 4 to about 6:15 every day, there's no classes. So that's time strictly for sport athletics to be practicing. And all athletics practice then, you might still have a morning lift or an evening lift, but that's extra added on to the practice. But having that 2-hour time slot specifically for practice makes life so much easier because then you aren't worrying about, okay, how am I getting to practice when I might have a class? Because the coaches all know if you're a little late to practice, it's more than likely because you had a class that ended at 4:05 and you just weren't quick enough to getting over, but they won't care necessarily. I know my crew coach, he's like, if you need to be late to practice or leave early for academic reasons, he said, just simply let me know. But we also do travel for our races on weekends, which means we're getting up 2:30, 3:30 a.m. Saturday morning to be on a bus, driving to either Philadelphia, Virginia, or New York. And those bus rides are long. So I typically sleep on the way there, but then on the way back, I've brought some of my books so I can potentially do homework depending how tired I am. I'm probably the only one on the crew team that does it, but that's because I'm a bio major and I need to get work done. But so my coach, he'll tease us about it if we bring work. Like, come on, you're traveling, you don't need to bring school. But he ultimately knows, like, we understand he's joking with us, and he's like, no, keep your grades up, keep doing good. But the coaches, just like your professors, they want to get to know you. They want to know how you think, how you act, because then they can also help, like, even if they think you are like doing okay and your professor might not, your professor could email your coach being like, hey, could you talk to him? Because he sees you not as a teacher, but as like a friend potentially. Like, can you see what's going on inside his head? And that often helps out a whole lot.
Leadership skills on campus. Yeah, you guys go ahead and talk about that. Yes, there are lots.
There are plenty of leadership opportunities on this campus. If you would like to get involved in anything, all you gotta do is either sign up for an email or just show up. That's all you gotta do. Almost every club has some sort of executive board kind of thing for it. I'm in Greek life, so I've got a lot of mine through that. I'm also a student ambassador, which is another leadership position here on campus. We have orientation team, which is a bunch of students that go show up a week or two before school. And when the first year students come in every August, they run them through a bunch of team building exercises, help them get used to campus, stuff like that. there are many, 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 many opportunities for that here on campus.
We also have presidential fellows who work directly with the president of the university. We have students who are involved in civic engagement through the Johnson Center. A lot of the student jobs, the work study jobs and the cash-based jobs, if you're not on work study, also develop leadership capabilities.
So I see the question, would you say Greek life is large at SU? I wouldn't say it's large, but there's a large amount of us on campus. I can't remember the exact percentage of students on campus that are involved in Greek life at this moment in time. Jessica, do you know? I do not remember.
It's usually like around 22, 23.
Okay, that's what I thought. I saw Jeff down there. So we do have, I believe it's nine total fraternity. We have Phi Beta Delta, Pi Kappa Phi, Theta Chi, Theta Teak. We have Phi Beta Sigma, the fraternities. We have the sororities. You have Kappa Delta, SG Rho, Theta Tau Alpha, Sigma Kappa, and I think I may have said Kappa Delta, but I'm not quite sure. So we have
Tau Alpha.
Yeah, this is Theta Tau Alpha. We have many organizations here on campus for that. If you want to get involved for that, all you gotta do is for sororities, sign up for their recruitment week, and for fraternities, just when recruitment week happens, you just gotta show up.
Gianna and Alvin, I think I'm going to answer your two questions for me together, because the first is, what does Susquehanna mean to you? And the second is, what made you choose to attend or work at Susquehanna? And I'm going to give the old person view, and then I'm going to shut up again. I interviewed at Susquehanna 28 years ago. I was 27 years old, which seems incomprehensible. But I was teaching at another university, and I was happy there. It was in downtown Chicago. But for family reasons, I was thinking about moving closer to the Northeast. But because I was happy where I was at, I needed to know that when I walked onto that campus, I felt like that place was home. And I felt like that place had the same goals that I had for our students. And I walked on campus, and I've heard my students say the same thing. I just immediately felt, wow, this place is amazing. I met faculty, and I met students, and I met administrators, and every single one of them was so passionate about undergraduate education and so passionate about undergraduate learning, and so interested in getting to know the whole person. And so for me, when I walked on this campus, I immediately knew that this was the place that I wanted to spend my career. And I've never had a moment teaching my students or working with my colleagues since then where I've ever doubted that decision.
So I'll say, well, I took Susquehanna. One of the biggest things when I actually toured this university was the amount of people who just saw me with my tour guide and just said, welcome to SU. It was at least 8 to 10 people that just saw me walking around campus and they said, welcome, which is not something I really experienced. I am from Baltimore City. That is not how people act in Baltimore City. It was a very big change for me, and I never really experienced that. Then after actually coming to this school, the first week of classes, I dropped like my whole box of pencils in my bag, and I didn't notice this. And I'm walking to one of our academic buildings, Steele, and some student chased me down on the campus, just giving my pencils back. And it was just the random acts of kindness and the fact that the people on this campus and the faculty as well genuinely want you to do well and genuinely care for your well-being. And that was something that I didn't really experience under any other university, and that's the main reason I picked Susquehanna.
So kind of similar with Alex. I'm from just outside of Baltimore, so Baltimore is not the greatest place for personalities. I'll say that and leave it there. So coming here was actually really fun because everybody's so welcoming, as he was saying, and you truly felt like this was a safe environment where you could learn and people cared, not just simply about like getting done with their degree, but enjoying being on campus, hanging out with other people and all that. But I initially had committed to Salisbury University. And then I came back to Susquehanna for a second visit and ended up signing on the dotted line because I just fell in love with it. The scenery of Susquehanna is definitely unmatched. Normally it's a make or break deal, but now it isn't here. You'll love it. Even if you haven't come, just simply look at pictures, and it's even better in person.
For anyone who has not been able to see this campus, if you download the app Zemi, it's an app that through admissions, me and our admissions representative Tessa Randina have been posting videos of all of our campus full semester. So you want to see what it's like, you can check us out on the app. And I realized I never actually answered what does Susquehanna mean to me. Something my parents do not like that I have been doing since coming to this university has been calling my fraternity house home. I'm like, oh, I'm going home. And they're like, well, this is your home when I'm back in Baltimore. I'm like, oh, yes and no. This campus is kind. I guess it's like a big family here. Everyone's kind. No one's gonna ever just be rude to you just cause. That's not something that happens here. People are kind and caring, which is not something I've experienced before coming to this university. Then I saw what kind of community service opportunities here on this campus. There are plenty of service opportunities on this campus. My fraternity, we require 25 hours of service per semester, and I find I usually end up with around 45 to 50 per semester. There are many farmers around here that need help. There are many different organizations like Transition PA, Be Positive, which helps support pediatric cancer, stuff like that. Then if you go through the Johnson Center for Civic Engagement, pretty much around half that office is just dealing with community service and community service opportunities in the area. So if you're ever looking to reach out, do stuff like that, you would just go through that office.
We also have a campus farm. The AmeriCorps volunteers, we help provide food to the local community as well as to the college. And the biology department itself has a lot of courses that actually have service engagement as part of that coursework. So they work with local nursing homes, for example, as a part of their work.
And majority of the athletic teams also require a certain amount of service hours. For the crew team, we keep it low because we're a club, so we're more focused, not necessarily with the community service aspect, but just making sure we aren't overbearing you with more things considering we're a club, but we still require 5, but we help out all over the place. And then by fraternity, we're actually partnered with Special Olympics. So with the local Special Olympics group, we typically play either basketball or field hockey or soccer with them on Sunday evenings, and that's so much fun. And I'm extremely missing it because we can't do it with COVID. So I'm really hoping we're able to do it in the spring because I miss it so much.
I saw Jessica has put the link to the service leadership program into the chat. It's a program here on this campus, pretty much solely devised for students that would like to make service a very large part of their career here at Susquehanna. Yes, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it, but the amount of personal enjoyment and growth you're going to have during that program, all of my friends in that program absolutely love it and rave about it. I have a brother named Jose who could rave about the program for probably 4 to 5 hours at a time if he could. I've heard wonderful things about it so far.
Our sports are a huge deal at Susquehanna. Yes, as much as a big deal as you want them to be. So we understand that student athletes, I was a student athlete in college. I was a swimmer. So I guess that makes me a swammer now, right? But most of the faculty, actually, many of the faculty were student athletes when they were in college. And we understand what a big deal sports are to students and how important it is to their overall development. But this is a Division III school, and the entire town doesn't shut down on Saturday just for one sport. We support all of our sports equally. We support our non-student athletes as fully as we support our student athletes. And so we want our students to be involved in the things that make them happy and that they have passions for. So music is just as big a deal as sports, for example, music and theater. And so yeah, we like and love and support all of those things.
So as someone I roomed with 2 football players in freshman year. I went to almost every single football game and almost every single basketball game, a lot of lacrosse games, a lot of rugby matches. I went to 1 regatta my freshman year, and I went to almost every single baseball game. There was a student section in all of them, and it's always loud. It's always fun. It's always a great time. Our football team is ranked nationally. Our basketball team just got ranked nationally for the first time since 2017. I believe our volleyball, I believe they're ranked nationally as well.
Swim team wins the landmark conference. To answer your question, Elvin, routinely. We've won it for many years in a row. It's an excellent swim team.
Baseball won their conference 2 years ago. Sadly, last year they were not able to have a season, but they were lined up and are still lined up for this current season to be very, very, very good. So the sports here, they're very competitive. They are often top 3 in the conference and doing extremely well. And they're a very fun time going to games. I go to a lot. Clearly, I enjoy watching sports. So.
And it's even better because all of the sports teams appreciate and see all of the non-athletes coming out and showing support to them. So I know a lot of my friends here on various teams, and a lot of my fraternity brothers are on the swim team. They'll like always encourage me, even though I'm on the crew team, like push myself harder and whatnot. But also for like when we have small concerts, student concerts on campus, the athletes will go to those and be like, nope, you showed us support, so here's it right in return. And it just creates shows you how close we are on campus. We don't you might see some division of oh, this group, here are the athletes, here are the musicians, but when it comes to supporting each other, we're all together, and it's so much fun.
All right. Well, we are at our time. This has been really awesome. So thank you, everyone, for your questions. I'm super excited for next steps. If Joseph and Alex, if you're comfortable, if you could put your emails in the chat so that students can see if they want to contact you more. So I see a few of you on here that have already been accepted to Susquehanna's class of 2025. So congratulations. A couple of you have some applications ready to be reviewed. Elvin, I know you're one of them. I was checking that while you were asking your questions, so you will hear from us soon. So I'm excited about that as well. For those of you who haven't applied, we look forward to it. And just know that we are open for visits. So if you do happen to have a chance to come and see us, we are hosting tours and information sessions Mondays through Saturdays. So we all would love you to see this place that we call home, 100%. So thank you for your time. Thank you, panelists, for all of your time and information. And say well to all of you too. Thank you for your attention. So good night, everyone.
Good night, all. I hope to see you soon.
Bye, everyone.